Alright, so welcome back. I'm going to get started on painting this today and start working on developing the details. As I've had some time to process and kind of think about this, one of the things that I realized is that in order to add some of the levels of detail, I do not need these stones to be covered up, because as I do, I want to be able to add detail, and it's going to overlap with what I'm seeing here along the base. So we're going to take that masking tape off. We're going to take this masking fluid off, and I'm going to apply some color, some paint to the actual stones themselves. And we're going to then have to wait and let that dry in order for me to come back in and add some additional detail. I've got some alcohol, so this is just like a generic throat spray container, but it gives me a really great kind of mist, if you will, of varying droplets. I want this to be a type of gray. I want this to be kind of have variations of gray in it. However, I don't have a gray, so I've got some black, I've got some Chinese white, and I've got some browns that I'm going to use in order to kind of give this a base to go from. So let's take this stuff off. Let's see how this did. The last time when I did this as a test, I had quite a bit of bleed through, but that looks fantastic. Okay, y'all, this feels really weird coming off, but it has a great sound to it. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it. I don't know if you can hear that. It's kind of a little bit satisfying there. Peel. So that's kind of a nice satisfying peel. So it does look like the fact that, I laid this masking fluid on pretty thick. And now I'm kind of glad that I did. One of the things that I'm going to want to fix up here is, if you can see, like this top is right at this horizon line. That's not going to work for me. So I'm going to want to make sure that I make some sort of an adjustment. I'm either going to adjust this stone down and have this be green, and so have it be kind of like a really small stone, because I don't want to have that kind of on the horizon line. And then let's grab this last one here. There we go. And you know what I just realized? I have a much better idea than what I was just trying to accomplish with this. Let me see what I have in terms of a wax crayon. Because if this has a great, if I could get it to lift up, yeah, that's one of the downsides. Okay, I'm actually kind of glad y'all cannot actually see my face when I do. Hey! Oh, because I didn't actually lift out the tray. I'm special. It does have grays. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually come in here, lay in some color, and then I'm going to come back with a brush and get it wet so that I can add that. So I'm going to set up a little different. So let me move some things around here a little bit. Bing, 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 because this is a change of plans, which happens. That's kind of one of the nice things about painting, about art, is that I can change my mind. I can do whatever it is that I need to do to make this work. So that is quite the thing. All right, I want to get some of these things set off to the side. Still going to need the alcohol. I don't need my phone. Oh, my phone over here. And I'm going to get my watercolor crayons set off to the side where I can access them really easily. And then it's going to be the fun, because here's what I want to do. I'm going to make sure that I kind of take this down. I do not want. I want this to be then very short. The nice thing about a watercolor crayon is that it legit is like using a crayon. I can put in a layer of color. Now, one of the things that's going to occur up here is you can see I've got some bleed. When I come back in with a brush in order to give this some definition, it is going to want to blend out that dark blue and this green. But that is okay. This is just kind of a matte. I just want to kind of lay down and get a color laid down here. So I'm not really too concerned with adding detail at this time or worried about depth. I just want to get some color laid down so that I can get back in and add some texture on top of this. And so I'm going to come in here with some different shades of gray. I'm going to have some that are lighter. I'm going to put some in here that are darker. Because I'm going to come back in and be able to use this very same thing to give it some dimension, right? The thing that I want in the first place. All right. Because I'm going to also want to add in some other color in here, again, in order to add that sense of dimension and depth, which I'm currently not going to see with what I'm doing right now, which is 100% okay. Da, da, da. A little bit of dark down here at the base. Get a little contrast up there with that. Because I'm going to want to come in here with some browns and some greens and really pull this, to be able to really pull this together. All right, let's come in here. So see, this is the exciting part of art. I know you're thrilled to be here to then just see, you know, sometimes it's the random conversations you have with yourself. Sometimes it's the that. So light. Okay, add something a little bit darker in here to give them additional depth. And then I've got my green set off to the side so I can come back in here and kind of blend this in here a little bit. All right, now this is sitting in front, so I need my darkest of dark is going to need to be right in here because it's going to go around, right? I'm going to want to see that in order to differentiate it from the other.
Okay. Differentiator. Well, again, I'm just going to layer this in because I'm going to come back in, get this kind of liquefied out, and use some alcohol to give me a texture, because what I'm looking at being able to do is differentiate the texture between what I've created here and then these standing stones. So this is going to be very light. Let's see this darkness come up along here. Provide me some contrast there. La 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 la. Alright, yeah, I figured out I'm going to have to find something to talk about, because it's going to drive me cuckoo just to sit here knowing that this is just recording away, and then I don't say nothing. That's going to be weird for me. So let's see. Alright, well, I just had a lovely anniversary trip with my husband. We try to do something where we get away, just the two of us. As you have kids, it's harder to do that, but we got away for a couple of days just to remember what it is to be grown and to be able to be ourselves and not so-and-so's mom. So that was kind of a nice thing. Appreciated all the help and support of the older kids who made that possible, because the older ones, they don't need anybody to watch them, if you will. But the little one, we have a 6-year-old, and so she can't just be left to her own devices. So we have to make sure that she's provided for. A little bit of definition in that. Go. And then, let's see. Okay, well, alright, here's another off topic. Hold on, give me a second. I think, yeah, this is going to just appear to be kind of somewhat semi-flat. Alright. I am going to be putting together a course. At least that's my goal. I did get offered to do something else for the summer, so there's that. But I'm going to be putting together a course with some of the things that I've done over the years to kind of help me remain some sort of sanity and not be cuckoo, if you will. And based on the things that I've had to deal with in my life. So I'm kind of excited by that, slightly terrified at the same time. These are things that have helped me and just benefited me over the years to kind of have this, I guess it's the attitude really, that comes to play in terms of I try to be as balanced as possible. So this will be kind of an interesting thing. Alright, so as you can see, I've kind of laid in some water. I've laid in these colors. I'm not going to worry about this piece right here. I'm going to have to come back in because I want this same kind of coloration here. So I'm going to have to play with that one a little bit. So I keep my water in a sprayer. I'm going to put some water in here, and then I'm going to actually, where's my sky flow brush? I've got a filbert brush. I'm probably going to use my filbert brush. So I've got a really nice filbert, a wide filbert brush. This is a Simply Simmons. It's a great brush. Again, I try to do my best to keep my brushes as nice and clean. My people go, yes, they look new. I do my best to make sure that I take good care of them. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to just move. I'm soothing this out. I'm going to end up needing more water, but I want you to be able to see that I'm kind of removing any kind of marks that may have been made, checking the edges. And basically blending in that watercolor crayon so that it is creating a surface here that has color, in this instance grays, right? So it's a nice contrast to what you're seeing. But I need to make sure that I get all this paint so that it's been activated, if you will, by the water, and have it be moist enough, but not so moist that it won't be affected by that kind of technique. So you can see that when the alcohol hits the water, it causes that kind of mottled effect, which is quite nice. It's a nice effect to use. And I'm looking at this one here and going, I don't have enough variation, but now is not the time. Not worried about that. I want to get my texture laid down. And I've noticed that, a lot of spray didn't go there. That is quite okay. I'm just focused on getting water, smoothing out these lines so that I can disperse the paint that I've laid down using the crayons, right, to give me some texture and to give me image. Like that is not what I want there, but once I am finished, I'm gonna need to get some of the paint out of the paintbrush, so out of my brush here, because I'm gathering quite a bit of paint as I move along. One of the nice things about being an abstract artist is it doesn't have to be perfect. I have an idea in my mind. I know what I want to see. And once I get this laid in, I'm going to be able to come back and get in that additional coloration, that additional depth of field that I'm going to be looking for. So think more impressionistic than anything else. All right, I need some water on my brush. Because I'm not using clean water every time it's coming out, it's obviously I'm getting gray water.
which is not hurting me at all. Some adjustments here. Bring that down and around. And then just going to bring in some more water. Now this one I have to remember that I am not going all the way up. Just want to stick with where I've got the watercolor crayon applied. And here. And again, that one is looking very, very flat, but I can make those corrections because this is the early stages. This is the kind of thing that one has to remember, that when you're painting, especially with watercolors and the way I paint, is layers. Layers. Layers matter. And I can come in and I can alter and fix most things. So one of the things that I shared was that when I do this one, I had a feeling I might get some of the blue, and it just did. It pulled up. I pulled in some of that blue because it was overlapping where I wanted. It's overlapping where I want my color to be, where I want gray to be. So I'm pulling in some of those blues. So it's not the end of the world. Ooh, almost wrong thing. A little bit. There. I want to get over that. Kind of lead up. I want to try to filter in where some of that blue is. And then I'm able to come in here with the alcohol. Okay, so folks, this is going to be kind of that step one, and you can see where I've got the standing. Y'all, I forgot. I had a whole little bitty one. I had a whole little bitty stone right there. I forgot all about it. Look at that. So, I'm going to show you another thing that I'd like to do. So since I'm going to, since I left out one, alright, this is one of the nice things you can do. These things work wet into wet as well. And so I'm going to come in here and add some of the darker move some of the paint off. Okay. Gotta love it when I forgot. I thought it looked a little weird over here. When I was looking, I was like, there should be another little stone. Because there is. It's over here. He's hiding out. Alright. So, we're going to start here. I've got to let this dry. And then I'll come back and we'll start coming in. I'm going to need to fix this, but while I do that, I can work on other areas of the painting. But what you can already start to see is areas of light, okay, and areas that I'm going to come in and really enhance being darker in terms of grass, and really being able to kind of delineate this round, this circle idea. Now, in a lot of standing stones, there's a center stone, there's something here in the middle. They don't always have them. But a lot of the pictures and reference photos that I was looking at, they are. But again, I've seen some where it's just the standing circles. There's nothing in the center. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually make this look like a grassy area that's not had grass grow back like there might have been. So I'm going to leave like an impression that there was a stone here in the center that is no longer present. And even though, as I mentioned before, even though you're not going to see this, but we're going to go with it as a happy accident, that there's some sort of hill, and you can still see where I have some work to do to kind of help override some of the green that's in here, in order to combat that. So we'll see what take I decide to go with on that. But anyway, let this stuff dry, and we'll come back and start adding, keep adding additional layers. This one's going to take us some time, so I hope you enjoy the ride. It's going to take a couple of videos to have this one come to completion because I'm going to record the whole process. Most likely this next video, I'll get it started so that you can see how I've blocked things out, and then I'll just simply record me painting with no sound. That way you can kind of watch it as a time lapse instead of the hours upon hours that this is going to take me. So I will see you momentarily once this loveliness has dried, and that way we can kind of finish laying this out and getting it set up and ready to go.